This is Apollo Saturn Launch Control. We're just passing the 1 hour mark in our countdown. Now in the final hour of the countdown toward the launch of Apollo 13. The closeout crew has now left the White Room area and will be standing by for the retraction to the 12-degree position of swing arm number 9. We've received word from the distinguished guest site that the stands over there are near capacity with some 4,500 guests in the area. The Vice President of the United States, Spyro Agnew, and Chancellor Willy Brandt, his special guests, have arrived in the area, although they are not at the stands yet. Out on the causeway at a guest site, we have 7,000. This is the largest guest number that we have ever had on our causeway site. To recap our countdown, which has proceeded very well today, we resumed the count after a 9 hour and 13 minute built-in hold at 4:13 a.m. this morning. At that time, the cryogenic loading began. This is loading aboard the extremely cold liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. Liquid hydrogen is the fuel for the second and third stage. Liquid oxygen, the oxidizer used on all 3 stages. RP1, or rocket propellant number 1, is the fuel used in the first stage. It is a kerosene-type fuel and was loaded before the countdown demonstration test back in mid-March. The cryogenic loading went well. There's over 800,000 gallons of cryogenics loaded aboard the Saturn V vehicle at this time. We entered a 1 hour built-in hold. This is a planned hold at the T-minus 3 hour and 30 minute mark. The crew was alerted this morning shortly before 9 a.m. by Colonel Tom Stafford, Chief of the Astronaut Office. They then proceeded for a short or brief medical examination by Dr. John Teagan and Dr. Alan Harder. They were pronounced in good shape and ready for their flight. They then had the traditional breakfast of steak and eggs, tenderloin steak, eggs, orange juice, coffee, jelly, and toast. After a brief mission briefing, they donned their spacesuits and took the 8-mile trip in the transfer van to the pad area. They have now been in the spacecraft going through a variety of tests and checks, going over all their switch lists and so on. Our weather at this time is better than had been predicted earlier. We're still looking for some clouds to move into the area, and we'll be expecting a temperature of approximately 80 degrees at our launch time. We continue counting down toward a launch time of 2:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now at T-minus 57 minutes, 15 seconds and counting, this is Kennedy Launch Control.
Okay, everyone, and welcome to Apollo 13. This is going to be the first mission, the ascent into low Earth orbit. So the initial thing that I would like to do is to just take a brief look at the flight plan. So the Apollo flight plan is accessible from the flight documents folder. You can manually specify the URL to the PDF or the file path if you have it saved on your hard drive by clicking here and then pasting in the URL or the URI on your local hard drive here and click load, or I've added a shortcut to the Apollo 13 flight journal. In the Apollo 13 section of the Apollo flight journal, you have mission documents where you will be having a list of all the PDFs relevant to the mission. One of them is the press kit. That's the one that we went through in the previous mission. And then we have a couple of other ones that are of importance, such as the flight plans and checklists. So today we are going to go through the initial part of the mission and the CSM launch checklist. So let's take a quick look at that first. So the Apollo 13 flight plan, it has this nice pink front page, and it contains all the details that you need to know during the mission. So first of all, we have the commander, which is Lovell, and Lovell is going to be sitting on this seat here. This is the lift-off crew positions, which is left couch, the commander. Then on the center couch we have the command module pilot, which is Swigert. And then on the right couch we have the lunar module pilot, which is Hayes. So the initial part, we are going to do a liftoff on April 11, 1970, and this is the launch operations checklists. We have some pre-checks that we'll need to go through, and then at liftoff, the mission event timer, or the mission timer, will reset, start to count up from 0, and count upwards towards the end of this mission. So 00 marks the start of this mission, and this first video will cover everything up to about 11-12 minutes into the mission, which is where we'll have SECO. So the video here will end before we're doing the insertion and system checks. The insertion and system checks are something that I will then cover in the next video, and then I will be doing a series of videos all the way until we're done with the Apollo 13 mission. So let's just get started. The first thing that I would like to load up is the launch checklist of the command module. So this is the CSM launch checklist, and if we scroll down into the checklist, we see that we have an index, the table of contents. So the switch configuration is something that we can skip, and our part for this mission is going to be the boost insertion kind of checklist. We'll do the boost preparation, and then we'll do boost. So let's just scroll down to that, and we'll skip all the panel states, switch positions up there, and then we have boost preparation. So the first thing is at T-minus 20 minutes, we are going to do something. But first, we need to do some activation parts that Reentry requires. So let's get into it. The first thing is to go to the computer, and we are going to go ahead and keyword 37 now 01 to initialize the platform. Alright, program 1 is running, and for this first mission I've yet to complete all the audio and all the communication between mission control and the crew, just because I don't have the missing sound effects. I'm missing some sound effects for this mission, so if you do have some information about where I could probably find the interaction between mission control and the crew in an audio format, that would be great to know. I do have a lot of what the crew are saying, but not what mission control tells the crew. So in the audio that we'll be having in this mission, you'll see that I have some parts of the conversation, but not the whole. This will change in the later missions, as then I have access to everything that I need. So let's just get started. We are then going to need to just quickly set up the EMS, which needs to be in standby, and then we'll set the delta V set into 6,999.9. Alright, that's complete. Alright, the EMS is now in Delta V and it's still in standby mode. This is in case we need it during the ascent. But nominal procedures do not need any EMS during ascent. Okay, so now we are getting into the boost preparation checklist here. And you are able to also run through the normal checklists here, which we have the launch preparations here, which is basically the same checklist with a run feature. So this is what you would typically normally run if you're doing an Apollo mission. But right now we have a transcript and we have a highlighter that will do it for us or together with us, and then we have a reference to the checklist itself. And keep in mind that the crew didn't do everything in the exact order all the time here, so there might be a little bit back and forth, and that applies to a lot of the procedures, especially during insertion. However, timescale to T-minus 20 minutes, and we'll get started with this mission. Right, T-minus 20 minutes to launch. We'll begin with the final launch preparation at this time. And we're going to start with the RCS Jet configurations, and we are going to verify that AC rolls are off. And the transcript and the audio that I've seen others have access to, they have mission control saying that, okay, hey, verify that the AC rolls are off, and then the Lovell in this case replies and says that, okay, they're off.
B1 is main A, D1 main B, 2 main A, D2 main B, A3 main B. D3 main A, A4 main A, C4 main B, B3 main A, D3 main B, B4 main B. D4 is main A.
Okay, that's the RCS Jets configured, and please remind me that I'll need to change the name of the commander to Lovell for my next video. Right, T-minus 15 minutes. So the next thing, we can also verify that the SM RCS propellants and talkbacks are all good, which they are. They can see on be seen on MDC number 2. Next is going to be weather updates.
Skip, how's the weather? That's right, you don't have any windows, do you? I got one little hole up there and it looks good here. Bad Charlie reading 36 volts. Alright, jump back to main A. Roll with 162. Pitch is 090. 0 in the yaw. FTI scale is 55. Rate switch is high. Hands controller power is on and up. Direct main A, main B. CMC mode is free.
So now we've been we've been going through a couple of the switch configurations according to this checklist here, and we're going downwards towards T-minus 10 minutes here.
B-mags, roll, pitch, and yaw are rate 1. VHF going off.
Right, 13, how do you read?
Houston, this is the CDR. I'm reading you loud and clear. I read you loud and clear, Joe. VHF AM going to TR. auto verified, on up. Engines out, verified auto. Launch vehicle rates, verified auto. RCS command, off and release. ABC Turbo Power 1, AC1 main A. 2, AC2 main B. Okay, reacts valve to latch. Okay, secondary cool pump is off.
Alright, my scroll will suddenly stop working on the Everything UI, so I'll get by without it.
Launch vehicle lights are on, FCC.
Roger, how do you read 13?
13, we can go loud and clear.
Roger, good luck with the mission today. So I'll just read out a couple of those
Thank you very
things
much, we'll do our best.
without audio.
Verb 75, do not enter. Okay, tape recorders forward, and I got a gray flag. Roger, primary glycol, pull the valve, full bypass. Okay, best ties are on. GDC line.
GDC aligns this backup platform, the GDC, with the primary platform, which are currently configured to be displayed.
T-minus 20 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds and counting. 17, guidance release. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Ignition sequence has started. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Clock is running. Okay, P11. Yaw program. Clear the tower. Yaw complete. Roll program. Houston, roger, roll. Houston, go at 30 seconds. Roll complete and we're pitching. Roger that. Stand by for mode 1 Bravo. Mark 1 Bravo. RCS command.
One and a half G is okay, high Q coming up. Cabin's coming down, which is this indicator over here. We have the cabin pressure.
13 Houston, go at 1. We show the cabin relieving. 13, roger.
Right, you're right on. And you're right on, Jim, which is Swagger following some of the data during the ascent. Alt is looking good. Okay, you're right on at 130, 10-4, a little bit high. We're a little bit high, about 0.4 miles. Alright, you gotta speak louder. Okay. Cabin's looking good. 2.5 G, so we're looking good in Alpha.
13 Houston, stand by for mode 1 Charlie. And 13, you're go for 1 Charlie. Go for Charlie.
We're about to stage.
We're EDS manual. Step forward.
Right, we have inboard. That's engine number 5. See, it's illuminated, meaning that it's now off.
We confirm inboard out 13, you're looking good.
The computer is now displaying data. The first one is velocity. Alright, stage 1 has separated, stage 2 ignition. The first one is velocity, the second one is velocity.
13 Houston, trajectory's good, thrust is good. Roger.
So this is vertical speed, and then we have the altitude in nautical miles.
Start. Tower jet.
Alright, there goes the tower. We can now finally see out the windows.
We confirm skirt step, roger tower jet, mode 2, Jim, looking good. Mode 2. Guidance initiate. Houston, guidance is good and the CMC is go.
13, roger. Okay, we're in mode 2. I'm set for staging. Mode 2. Got them all rate command and hang on. 4 minutes. Okay, Jim, we're right on. Okay, trajectory is looking
13
good.
Houston, you're go at 4 minutes, so little red lines are right on the little white lines down here.
Cabin settled out very nicely. And it seems like everything is all good in terms of trajectory and where we should be.
Houston, coming up 5 minutes, you're looking perfect, over. 13, roger. Inboard. Roger, we confirm inboard out.
That shouldn't have happened.
13 Houston, stand by for S4B to COI capability. S4B to COI, roger. Roger, you've got it now, Jim. We've got S4B to COI.
It's 2 minutes early on the engine number 5. Right, pitch 1 and pitch 2, yaw 1. Then pitch 2, yaw 2.
go at 6 minutes.
And Houston, what's the story on engine 5?
Jim, Houston, we don't have a story on why the inboard out was early, but the other engines are go and you're go.
Roger.
Okay, we're a bit low and H dot, which is the middle one here.
Roger.
But that's to be expected. We don't have enough, we have only 4 engines running, which is producing less thrust than having 5, obviously, which means that this data will be slightly off compared to the table. Let me just quickly show it.
13 Houston, level sense arm time 8 plus 38 nominal, S2 cutoff time 9er plus 48, over.
Roger, nominal on the level sense arm, 9er 48 on the S2 cutoff.
That's affirmative, and stand by for S4B to orbit. Mark, you have S4B to orbit, Jim.
Roger, we have S4B to orbit.
So now they're running the engine 5 longer than planned. No, I mean the other 4 engines running longer since engine 5 is out. So the estimated shut-off time of stage 2 is now 9 plus 48. Right, didn't like that inboard. Okay, now we're low on velocity, but it's not too bad. Watch the trajectory closely, Jack. Yes. We're right at 8. H-shot is a little bit low. Velocity inertial is low, but that's understandable. Okay.
13 Houston, looking good at 8 minutes.
13, roger.
Your S4B to orbit capability now. Houston looking good at 8 minutes. How's those systems, Fred? Are there any? They're looking good. Okay, now H dot is low, Jim. S4B ought to pick you up. And I'm still working on the Ascent guidance equation running in this computer right now to make Ascent and the target insertion match more closely to what the mission actually was. Right now it's going to be coming up a couple of nautical miles too high.
Mark level sense arm, roger.
But that's in the works. Right now we are pretty good on altitude.
Apollo 13 Houston at 9 minutes, your go, the CMC is go.
13, roger.
So this basically reads 99.9. There's a point between here, so we are now we are 100. And this is the target, so 100.1 is the target altitude for a normal Apollo mission. But now we are going to go a little bit over.
Apollo 13 Houston, stand by for mode 4 capability. Mark, you have mode 4, Jim.
Mode 4, roger. Staging.
Roger, staging.
And S4 ignition, Houston.
Roger that, Jim. Thrust looks good.
Roger.
Now we're on the final stage of the launch vehicle, on our way into orbit.
Houston, you're looking good. Trajectory, guidance, CMC are all go.
Thank you, Joe.
Right on a good H dot, 200 feet a sec low on the velocity. Remember, we're in mode 4 now. Yes, I got that, mode 4. Looks good. What? Everything looks good. Everything looking good. We're looking good, Jim. Trajectory is looking good. Okay. Now we're coming up to the
13
original.
Houston at 11 minutes. Your go. Predicted cutoff on the S4B is 12 plus 34. Over.
Now we're coming up on the normal or nominal cutoff time, which is above 11 minutes, between 11 and 12. 11:55.
Apollo 13 Houston, your go at 11 and a half, and predicted cutoff time is 12 plus 34. Over.
Understand, 12 plus 34 predicted cutoff time.
That's affirmed.
So now they're going to they ran the S2 stage longer, which means that the ascent is going to be longer. So now we're looking at 12 minutes and 34 seconds now. Stand by for SECO. We're now at 12 minutes and 20 seconds.
Copy SECO, Jim. We're looking at the Disky.
Roger.
This marks the end of this initial mission, and then once we are loading the next
Apollo 13
chapter.
Houston, you have a go orbit all sources, and the booster is safe. Over.
Go orbit and the booster is safe. Thank you, Joe.
Don't mention it.
So the next mission will load up where we left off. So I'll see you there, and we'll continue with the insertion checks.